Hey, yo, yo, hey, yo. That's a song, isn't it? Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show and happy Monday. As always, I'm your host, David Burrows. Happy belated Valentine's Day. Okay, let's take a poll. I don't have a poll option here. Maybe that's a feature I need to look into. How many people had some type of a Valentine's Day with that special someone yesterday? Who celebrated Valentine's Day? Happy Monday, everybody. And happy Family Day. Yes, it is Family Day as well. Happy Family Day to Carl from Oshawa, our other friend from way out of town as well. Matt Porter saying hello. Happy Family Day. It is Happy Family Day. Just like every other holiday, it's looking a little bit different out there, right? So I guess depending on where you're living in Ontario right now, of course, we're in orange here in Sarnia, Lambton County. And it is what it is. I don't know what else to say. I say something about it every week, and I don't know what else to say. I'll go over the numbers here in a little bit. I do have some concerns, though. You spent Valentine's Day digging out in Burlington. Oh, okay. I have a solution for that. Have big kids or a snowblower. I got to use my snowblower today. I mean, it wasn't crazy snowing or anything, and I know that a couple of the neighbors were probably looking at me like, "Oh, why is that guy using a snowblower?" It wasn't a ton of snow, but it's gotten really packed down in the driveway, and it digs in pretty good. And yes, okay, that just sounded like a good story. I like using my snowblower. What can I say? Jennifer said that to me earlier. I was telling her. She's like, "What are you doing?" I'm going out to do the snow. She's like, "You just want to play with your snowblower." I'm like, "Yeah," but I do make a point of going all the way down the side of. And there was 3 or 4 other of my neighbors out with their snowblowers too, so it's not just me, right? So happy Monday, Danny. Hope you're still doing well, and happy Family Day to you and the family. Hey, Tara, how are you? And did that come up twice? Oh, happy Monday and happy Family Day. Yeah, you're in the red zone, right, Carl? So that's a whole different ball game there, boy. I tell you, don't envy you there. But it's still all about the precautions and following the guidelines and wearing the mask and doing what we got to do, right? Khadija, hey, Khadija, happy Family Day to you as well. It's been a long time. Hope you're keeping well. And Tim says they got in Burlington 2 feet in 36 hours, another 30 centimeters tonight. I think that's a lot of snow. You need a snowblower. We're supposed to be, it might even have started, it's supposed to start this afternoon here in Sarnia, and then pause, and then throughout the night, snow, I think, and 10 to 15 centimeters, which is fine by me because I now have a snowblower. I don't know. I should have done it years ago. I don't know why. I think the one year we talked about getting one, we were like, nah, and then it was horrible snow all the time. And then the one year we got it, and it's like it hasn't really snowed a lot. I guess that's just how it goes. Hey, Mr. Paul Madel. Howdy, Mr. Burrows from downtown Thetford. How's the weather in Thetford, Paul? Do you need a snowblower down there? I was thinking of pimping myself out with my snowblower, but then I'd have to go buy a truck because I need a trailer to go with it, and I'd need a truck to pull the trailer, and then that would just be, the price of a snowblower costs $30,000 then. So I'm not doing that. Paul, I hope you're doing well. All the best to you and Fern and the rest of the family as well. Hamilton goes into the red zone tomorrow. Okay, I didn't know that. Interesting. Barb, you're all stocked up on wine, are you? There you go. No snow out there, Paul. Well, there you go. You don't have to make Fern shovel the snow for you. So, so we're in the orange zone here in Sarnia, Lambton, I should say, Lambton County. And, it's no question. We can have this conversation every week. I guess we kind of do. So many people have struggled and suffered and whatever. There's all kinds of different opinions and debates. And I do believe, I don't believe, all this stuff. At the end of the day, the numbers are real. I can tell you that, right? I don't think you can't really argue with the numbers. And Lambton Public Health, as always, puts them out every morning. They're out. So there is the latest numbers from yesterday, and those numbers, well, here, I'll keep it big there so you can see them again. So we're currently at 84 active cases. Last week on Monday, we had 47. So we're almost double from a week ago, right? And you have to remember, the way it was explained to me anyway, is that these numbers take a couple weeks to come out. It's not, it doesn't just like if you go to a big gathering yesterday, if that's what happened, the numbers are out tomorrow. It doesn't work like that. It takes a couple of weeks for the numbers to come out. And I know so many people are excited about tomorrow. We're back into orange officially, or Tuesday, if you're watching this recorded on the 16th. We're back into orange. So I see bars and restaurants and everybody's, all right, I'm going out and I can't wait to go out and see my friends and all this stuff. But I got to tell you, that kind of concerns me a little bit, because part of the reason we are where we are is because of, in my opinion, I did not go to medical school, but people weren't following the guidelines. And then we get back to where we are now and we're in orange. And if I see those numbers the way I read them, almost doubled from last week, if that keeps happening, we're going to be like Hamilton and other places where we're going to be in the red zone. So all I can do is repeat myself every week. Follow the guidelines, folks. Wear the mask. If you don't like the mask, wear the mask anyway. I think I've said it before where I really don't enjoy wearing my seatbelt every time I get into my vehicle, but I wear my seatbelt because it's the safer thing to do. And I've had people say, oh yeah, well, a friend of mine died because he had his seatbelt on. Okay. One in what? Get all the proper information. We got 9 outbreaks going on right now as well. That hasn't changed a whole lot. But there are 3 more deaths today than there were last week at this time. Numbers go up. What's happening, right? So, all right, back to the comments. Where are we? Happy Family Day, brother. Yeah, Andrew, right on. Happy Family Day, Tom Babcock. And then, okay, Andrew showed up. He says, how many of those active cases are in nursing homes and isolated there? It would be a more accurate and meaningful number if we knew how many of those cases are in the actual community. Well, I get that. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. So there's 9 outbreaks and there's 84 active. You're saying maybe there's 84. But I mean, I know of people in the community that have had COVID or have COVID. Here's what concerns me to try to answer that question. I mean, you make a really good point in all of that, right? You know, if it's in the nursing homes, then why do we have to worry about it in the community? Well, there's people work there and they come back in and out. I know they're getting tested a lot. I have to go tested to visit my mother. I go get tested today and I go visit her 4 days from now. Is that test still valid? It technically is, but anyway, I know what you're saying. You make a really good point there. But if only 3 people in the community have COVID, and it's like the whole exponential growth, if those 3 come in contact with 3, and those 3 come in contact with 3, and the next thing you know, right? But yeah, I don't know. Again, I'm not the doctor. Tanya Winter, how are you? Hope you're doing well there as well. Let's see, I like it when people say hello. It makes me, well, I know you're watching, right? We just need to learn with it and take caution. I don't think it's going away. Barb Jovi. Yeah, well, and what's that going to look like? Michelle, you know what opinions you're like? Yes, I do, Michelle. You are all entitled to have your opinion, and if you want to continue being wrong, you're allowed. That's I forget who told me that. It's like, you can have your opinion. If you want to keep being wrong, you go ahead and keep having your opinion. So, you know, just be cautious out there. And, you know, it's stressful times and everything. I got to tell you, Jennifer and I are truly blessed. I work from home, right? I've worked from home since way before the pandemic. So I'm blessed that way. So haven't really struggled that way. And for someone like me, who's a real big social butterfly, you'd think, don't get me wrong, I miss going out and having a few pints, bukas, whatever that night brings on. But it hasn't been that bad staying at home. I've lost some weight, right? That's a good thing. So I guess what I was getting to there is everybody's getting ready to rush out. Not everybody, but I think a lot of people are getting ready to rush out to their usual hangout spot and see friends or whatever. Just be careful, and let's maybe just take our time getting back out. And I don't want to sound like, you know, obviously we want to support the restaurants and we want to support all the local we can, but just be careful. It really concerns me what might happen. other than, yeah. Okay, a couple more comments. Other than doing this podcast, what else are you doing for Family Day? Well, my son and his girlfriend are coming over. They're all within our bubble. And Jennifer's making a nice meal. Yeah. Speaking of making a nice meal, as yesterday was Valentine's Day, back New Year's Eve, Call the Chef put me to the challenge to cook one of their meal kits. If anybody knows me really well, you know I don't cook. I burn water, okay? I am not a cook. So they put me to the test, and with a little bit of guidance from Jennifer Moons, got through it, and we had a wonderful filet mignon meal on New Year's Eve. Well, we did it again yesterday on Valentine's Day, and we had some prosciutto. I believe that's how you say it, prosciutto. I had to Google it. Prosciutto chicken breast wraps. Say that 5 times fast. It was absolutely delicious. We made it. We had wonderful salad, delicious cheesecake, all from Call the Chef. And the great part about Call the Chef is not only just in Sarnia, but they support local. So the wine was from Dark Horse Estate Winery, just out Grand Bend Way. That's in Lambton County. Delicious wine that we had. The meat's all local. The salad, all the food and produce is all local. Even the printing of the cards and the bag it comes in is all printed local. So they are 100% true local. Call the Chef, fabulous, local, and fresh. And if I can do it, anybody can do it. We're going to be doing more with Call the Chef coming up in the future as well. So excited for that. So what we did New Year's Eve, we did again on Valentine's Day yesterday. We recorded me cooking, right? So it's about a 20-minute video. Obviously, we edited it down to the highlights, but a 20-minute video that will be out later tonight at 7 o'clock. And you can watch Jennifer Moons and I in our kitchen cooking the fabulous Call the Chef meal kit. And Paulina's Flowers was in there as well. We had a couple of nice roses, a yellow one and a red one. And a shout out to Imperial Brew House. They were a part of the Call the Chef Valentine's Day special. And a special shout out to Ontario's Blue Coast, who included Call the Chef in their February bundles as well. So local. I love it. Right? So thank you again to Call the Chef. Visit them online at callthechef.ca for more details. All right, just before I get to my first guest, I do want to remind everybody, last week we had the Sarnia Sting on here. Visit them online, sarniasting.com. Who wants to know what's going on there? Me too. It's coming. It's closer than you probably think. That's what I can tell you. It's all I'm allowed to tell you, I should say. Go to sarniasting.com. They've been partnered up with Imperial Sarnia site, and they are looking for a local champion too. As a matter of fact, they're looking for a youth and an adult local champion. So if you know somebody who has gone above and beyond during the pandemic, you can go to sarniasting.com and nominate someone who's done something in the community to help support people during the pandemic, or someone you just think is a local hero that deserves some recognition. Again, they're looking for an adult and a youth. All the details there at sarniasting.com. Again, who they've partnered with is Imperial Sarnia site. We had Jake Bory from the Sarnia Sting here last week, so you can watch that last week's episode as well. All these episodes available not just here, but on my YouTube channel as well. You can subscribe there. There's the link on the screen. And I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. I'm about 780. So if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, go there, check it out. If you like what you see, you know what to do. Click that subscribe button and a little bell notification. I feel like everybody knows that because every YouTuber says that. So please help me out to get to 1,000 subscribers. All right. I got to make sure that I didn't forget nothing before I move on, because I'm self-producing, right? So I got everything. Thanks everybody for joining us right now. I want to talk about, well, we've been talking about it more and more. Mental health is everywhere. It's all around us. The statistics say 1 in 5 people are affected by mental health. We pretty much have some kind of conversation about mental health every week here on the show. It somehow comes up. My friend Liz from St. Clair Child and Youth Services would say it's actually 5 and 5, because all of us in some way, whether us directly, family member, or somebody we know, is affected by mental health. And my first guest is here to share his story about mental health, Kayden Babcock. Thanks for being here, Kayden.
Thanks for having me, Dave. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, we were sort of talking about you behind your back there a little while ago, in a good way. We was talking with your dad, Tom, there. And he's a bit of the story. And I appreciate you, stepping out to talk about this, because you're going to be a good example for many people your age. How old are you, Kayden?
18. In March,
18.
I'll be 19. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you're a young fella, but you've been dealing with mental health for some time now, and we're going to talk a little bit about Face Off for Mental Health, a program that helped you. But let's get the backstory on you, Kayden. You're heavily involved in hockey sports.
Yes. Yeah. So I've been playing hockey since I was very little, since I could put on skates and they could tie them up and put me on the ice. That's how long I've been playing. I've done a few other sports other than that as well, but my main sport's been hockey growing up, and that's pretty much been basically my outlet for
Right.
every chance I get. I'll go play on the ice. So
Yeah.
that's pretty much been what I've been doing.
Now, Face Off for Mental Health, this is a partnership with St. Clair Child and Youth and local hockey teams and other hockey associations, right?
Yeah. Yep.
What was it that I see you got the hat on there too? That's great. I got the ribbon here, and I got a hockey puck and a hat. I got all this stuff.
Yeah.
When you're walking around as a young man, I mean, maybe not so much right now, but when you were in school, etc. I think when it comes to hockey, especially, and I'll be honest, especially on the guys' side of hockey, there's kind of a toughness to it, right? You know, did you when you first spoke up about mental health, did you feel like it was going to be a sign of weakness, or did you feel that it's just something you had to do?
Well, the thing is I've always kind of been open with others about mental health, like within myself, and talking to. In the background of youth, you get a lot of conversations between youth and youth about mental health individually. Seems to be most of the conversation around when I was younger, but now it's starting to come out, and adults are starting to get involved. People are starting to know and trust counselors and hockey coaches and their parents or cousins or friends or like older people. But like when I was in high school and in elementary, it was kind of just talk between friends. Like if somebody had a problem, I would have no problem telling them about my mental health struggles, but never really took it on myself. I more took on other people's struggles rather than my own. It
you were the go-to guy, were you?
Yeah. A lot of the time it felt that way. Yeah.
Yeah. So then how did you get to the point of where you dealt with your own mental health issues, and how did Face Off for Mental Health tie into that for you?
Well, over time, just kind of burying those anxious thoughts, depression. I struggle with OCD, so obsessive compulsive disorder. Having obsessive thoughts constantly is a drag, to say the least, I guess. So it just... over time, it had to come out one way or another, and eventually, I was like, I had a problem with. I was a sexual assault victim when I was younger, so at a very young age, I was able to come out and talk to my parents one way or another about that, and so this was nothing new to me. I was able to let my emotions show, which at a younger age, I was able to do that as well. So, struggling with mental health, I was always able to talk to my parents, and I guess you can kind of say I tried to hide it throughout high school, but it comes to a point where I was able to talk to them and let it out. And now it's just a fluent conversation with anybody. Like I could talk to you about it, a stranger on the street, anybody I meet, I have no problem letting them know about situations I've gone through or what I've dealt with growing up.
Yeah, well, it's good that you were able to come forward and speak out loud about that. I mean, these are not easy topics.
Yeah.
To sometimes we have a hard time them even the words rolling off our tongue, right? When you first went to your parents, what was their reaction?
Kind of surprised. I would say shocked, to say the least. That's kind of where this whole Face Off for Mental Health program stemmed from. Because my siblings, I'm the youngest of four. So my older siblings, Jamie, Drake, Randy, have all also struggled with mental health in one way or another. And Randy has an eating disorder and has struggled with that for years. So it wasn't anything new to them. They've dealt with their own mental health issues family's mental health issues. It's been a conversation in our family for a long time, and so kind of shocked just because I seemed on the outside to be doing so good, just like most people do, and coming up saying that life could be over. I'm not planning on being here anymore. Was in one day after just having a day that seemed perfectly fine to them is shocking to anyone.
Yeah, that's right. How do you take that? I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think anybody expects someone to come to them, especially their own children. Whoa, what do you mean?
Yeah.
And I think sometimes, and it's an honest feeling, for a person to speak up, they're worried about that stigma that we talk about all the time, embarrassment. Maybe even parents sometimes might feel a little embarrassed about it, and maybe that's why that it doesn't get talked about. Did you experience any of that at all?
To be honest, not really. I got pretty lucky with my family. They've always been very, very open and communicative towards me and others. So after I told them, it was at first a level of shock, and then right after that, though, spring into action. Whatever you need, we're there. And that was kind of how they took it. They didn't take it as, what do you mean? You're lying. That's not true.
Right.
That's not real. They
You're
believed me right away.
overreacting.
Yeah, and they understood right away. Okay, what do you need? You need to go to the hospital. Do you need help? What can we do? And at the time, I had talked to another member of the Face Off for Mental Health in the community, Kim Shaw, who has been helpful towards me in a bunch of ways. I talked to her a bunch about mental health because she had a daughter who was friends with my sister, actually, who had committed suicide previously. Yeah. And so she was very open in the topic, and I feel might have understood a little bit more what I was going through in the time because she had just went through the same thing. So I talked to her and opened up to her, and she's actually the one that took me to the hospital the night that I went in, and my parents were completely okay with that because they trusted my decision. They knew what I needed at the time, and they let whatever I needed at that time work to be able to just get me the help right away rather than put a pause on it and mess with things and my feelings, and they just let me kind of do what I needed to while still being there as a support, as a backbone, I would say.
Yeah. Well, it's good that you have that outside support as well, right? I mean, I've always told my kids, if you don't want to talk to me, that's fine.
Yeah.
Please talk to somebody that you know, like, and trust. Because, it's one thing to have that relationship with, I can tell Dad anything. But then there's other stuff that's like, maybe I need to talk to somebody else. So it's good that you have that outside support as well. Now, you've become kind of a support for your circle as well. I mean, you're 18 years old. You kind of been able to represent and make it, by wearing the hat when you're at school or out and about wherever, and people see that. You're not afraid to say, yes, it's okay to talk about this, right? Has that encouraged some of your other friends to come out and start talking about their issues as well? And were you surprised from some of those friends?
Well, in the beginning, I like at a young age, like when I came out about my mental health seriously, I was around 14. So I was pretty young. I was in the middle of a hockey season with my hockey team, and they didn't really have anything going on because I was always the funny kid, the bright kid. So I never really, it didn't cross their mind, I'm sure, especially at that age. We got other things going on. So, but after going back into hockey and finally going back to practice after dealing with that, my coach was very supportive and talked to the entire team, let them know, and without a blink of the eye, they all supported me 100%. And I've talked to a bunch of them about mental health problems as well now in the future, which I think the main thing is people are scared that their friends are going to think different of them. And who knows, some of them might have, some of them might not have. But at that time, I felt the support, and they all let me know, and it was just carried on as regular hockey. And if I needed anybody to talk to, I knew that I could talk to my coach, one of the players, anybody that I needed to. So it opened up a support system a lot larger than I could have imagined. That's for sure.
Yeah. Which is fantastic to have that, right? And not just for people in your situation who need someone to talk to, but I don't know. I'm thinking if I was a coach of a hockey team, the way it was put to me, that if it's 1 in 5, that means there's how many lines on a hockey team? That means there's 3 to 5 anyway that are having that struggle. But the coach is probably having a bit of a struggle here going too, especially if they get attached to their team, they have those relationships, and then they're like, I'm a hockey coach. I'm tying skates and making sure things are drilled. And now how do I deal with this, right? So it's been a good support for coaches as well.
Yes. Yeah, it's been very, very good in all my years of having coaches. All the support has been there. I'm now playing junior C as well, and same thing. Coaches up there nowadays have developed very good support systems for mental health and any issues that you have.
Right. Kayden, what would you say to someone who is struggling with mental health and really hasn't spoken about it to anybody yet? Maybe they're hearing this information maybe, and they're like, yeah, but I'm still scared, or that's different. That wouldn't work the same way. What would you say to that person?
It's hard because different situations leave you in different moods every day. Like I didn't really realize that I was in trouble until I was.
Right.
But definitely be talkative, be able to just, even if the conversation is just about hockey, sports, life, not even about mental health in the time being, just if you can talk to somebody that's either a friend, an older friend, cousin, a relative of some sort, hockey coach, football, soccer, any other sport, anything that you do, club, teacher, anything that it is. If you can find somebody that you can talk to, that you feel comfortable to talk to things about, then definitely keep that open, and don't be afraid to start a conversation about mental health. Even if you don't want to talk about yourself, talk about it in general. Just kind of get a good comfort zone with somebody. I know your parents aren't always the easiest, which I found that out myself. It wasn't, even though they've been around mental health a long time, it was easier to talk to somebody else at my time being of going into the hospital.
Yeah.
So that would be my words of advice for sure.
Yeah. Well, that's great encouragement. Moving forward for you, you continue to deal with your own mental health issues, and you've found the support that you need, and it's been great for you and your family as well. What's next for you in the hockey world? And if you get back out to play, right? Besides maybe in the backyard rink at the moment, but
yeah,
that, and do you see yourself continuing to be outspoken about mental health as you grow?
For sure, definitely. I mean, in the next few years coming, I got a few years of junior left, so I hope to carry that on, and then whatever comes after that, I plan to definitely be a part of hockey teams in the future, whether that be coaching, trainer, who knows, maybe a mental health advocate, just to go around and talk to teams.
Yeah.
In any way, shape, or form that I can, I definitely want to be in contact with sports and in the community, for sure.
Yeah. Good for you. Because, you really, there's that other stigma to you. Like you're, from the pictures, like you're a big guy, Kayden, and you're probably a scary guy on the ice there. I wouldn't want to come up against you there. So there's that stigma too, though, right? That here's a big, tough guy, right? And you brought that wall down. And I think that there's that label of tough guy that maybe you're helping lower that barricade.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just by the, you know what I'm saying? Because of your size and that look that you probably have. You're much nicer and calmer here than you probably would be out on the ice.
Yeah, the ice is a completely different situation for sure.
Yeah. Very good. Kayden, I thank you so much, and I was glad to meet your dad and talk to him to get us introduced. I always like to give my guests one last chance. Any final words you want to put out there before I let you go?
I can just say, if you have anything to say, don't be afraid to say it. Support Face Off for Mental Health as much as you can. Definitely come out to our golf tournament if you can. Don't be afraid to message any one of us if you have any problems, any concerns, anything that you want to bring forward. We're always open. Our ears are always open for new ideas, any problems that you may have. So bring it forward to us.
Kayden, thank you again. I really appreciate you. I mean, giving you your time here, and hugs to you and your family. And hopefully we'll see you out on the ice soon.
For sure. Of course. Can't wait.
Right. Take care. Kayden Babcock coming here and sharing his part of his mental health story, and this all came up because I had met his father, Tom Babcock, and then the association with St. Clair Child and Youth Services, who has the Face Off for Mental Health program that is supporting local hockey associations and teams, and it's a good story in there, and we'll have to have Kayden back because there's a longer story in there that I think needs to be told as well. So thanks again, Kayden. I do appreciate you being here, and you'll be able to reach out to him. Just reach out to him. We'll post some links after the show on how you'll be able to reach out to Kayden and his friends, and how you can get in touch with St. Clair Child and Youth about their Face Off for Mental Health. Yes, I meant that when I said I wouldn't want to meet him on Yes. I can't even skate, so that's probably a good reason why I wouldn't want to. All right, well, moving on. Women's Day, International Women's Day, is coming up here on March the 8th, and some local ladies are getting ready to celebrate a whole lot of different things about International Women's Day, and they are here now. Kat Cabajar and Chelsey Hart, thanks for being here, ladies.
Thanks, Dave.
I feel like we're this whole room, like Kayden kicked it off, and now we've got some more inspiration from the ladies. And look at you, you're smiling. You're all excited about this event that you've got coming up, right?
We're pretty excited.
Yeah.
Well, let's get people to know you. Well, Kat Cabajar, I don't need to introduce her. Everybody knows the name Kat, right? Yeah. How you doing, Kat?
I'm doing great. I'm enjoying a nice, easy family day, so that's nice. I'm not on the job anywhere. I'm just at home and planning for this amazing event, and excited to be on the show again. It's great to see you.
Yeah, very good. And Chelsey Hart, let's talk about you and her initiative. What is her initiative?
Yeah, so this is my first time on the show. Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome.
So her initiative is a social enterprise dedicated to supporting women-led businesses through funding, affordable ICF coaching, education, and an inclusive community. And I sold my first business as an entrepreneur in 2018, and now I help other people do the same from a grassroots perspective. So,
wow. So
yeah,
you sell my business? Is that?
Yeah. No, I love working with different groups and seeing them grow. So we do a lot of one-on-one, and we're also doing a lot of online inclusive communities. And that's kind of how me and Kat got connected. And then Kat came to me with the ideas because she's always the idea person, and we kind of made it happen.
To everybody.
I know, right?
I try.
That's good. Well, International Women's Day coming up March the 8th. I got that right? Yeah?
Yes.
And, okay, so talk about this. Okay, it's International Women's Day. It's a pretty obvious title. But what specifically, Kat, I'll come over to you to kind of lead into what the event's going to entail.
Okay, so basically I approached Chelsey and said, I want to do something for International Women's Day that's a virtual event, because obviously we're in unprecedented times. We're spending a lot more time at home, but it's still very important for us to stay connected. And I've wanted to do an International Women's Day event for years, but I was just always so busy and attended other people's events instead. So it turned out that Chelsey was looking to launch her platform of her community, which I'll let her tell you about that. And we decided that it was a great idea to join forces and create this event together. And the response has been absolutely overwhelming. It just started off as just kind of a little seed, and we put our left and right brain together, and it's been an amazing experience. The response from the community has been incredible. We have over 16 local businesses that are sponsoring the event.
We have over 20 now.
We have over 20. Yes. Okay. So numbers have been climbing fast, and everyone is really excited about having a place to gather as a community online where it is safe to do so. And we have special guests, speakers that are going to be joining as well. We're going to be talking about leadership and the importance of community and what it means to be brave. And then I, of course, will be bringing in the creativity. So we're going to be doing a therapeutic art session, talking about body positivity and self-love and self-acceptance with my good friend Danielle Catton from Danielle Is Anxious and Sarnia Speaks. And it's just it's just been snowballing. It's been amazing. We started selling tickets today, and our numbers are climbing. So it's really exciting.
Yeah, well, you make it exciting just the way you bring it up and talk about it. Like it's going to be, and this is a 2-part event, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'll let Chelsey talk about her part.
Chelsey, over to you.
All right, so here we go. We try to kind of bring everyone together. So the tickets are an all-inclusive pass. And the morning session is between myself and Carrie, who's the executive director of Rebound, and she's also a leadership coach. So we will spend time discussing what leadership means, how it looks in terms of courage and today's climate. And we're going to have a networking event so that our attendants can get a chance to get to know each other. And then during the break, there'll be a pre-recorded session of restorative yoga that attendees can access on their own time, as well as a vocal performance from San Fei. She is incredible singer, and we wanted to bring in, so we have 6 women who own businesses who are all local, who are all part of this committee, which has been really incredible. And then the evening, we're going to do
a lot of power.
A lot of woman power. That's right.
Yeah.
So sorry, carry on with what else? Like, that's a lot of time you're filling there. You got 2 parts going on. So is that like 2 different sessions, or is it like the same session at each, but it gives you 2 options?
Kat's going to do the evening session. So mine is more a leadership, networking business side of it. And we're also giving away swag bags. So those 20 sponsors, all filled with local goodies.
Nice.
And door prizes, and we have a national sponsorship. So I was invited to be the Startup Sarnia Lambton hub here. So Startup Canada has sponsored the event now and got on board.
Oh, yes, I did see it on your, I think your Instagram, something about that. Congratulations.
Yeah.
That's like putting it over the top.
Yeah, I think it's about time that Sarnia Lambton, bring some of their local businesses to a national stage. So we're trying to do that in a very supportive way. And then, Kat, you want to talk about your therapeutic art session a little bit there?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we have 2 pre-recorded events that are happening in between. So there's the yoga by Ash Smith of Heart and Hands and co-owner of the Woods Salon. So she's going to be doing a guided meditation to begin the event in the daytime portion. And then she's also providing the pre-recorded yoga session. And then Sin Fei, or Cynthia Fei, some people know her as, she's amazing, just beautiful voice. She's pre-recording 2 original songs that she wrote. Even before we presented this event to her, she chose 2 songs to write that are just so perfect for our event. So we're really excited for that as well. And then Danielle will be joining me. We'll be talking about body positivity, self-love, self-acceptance, and really kind of going into the more compassionate side of things. A lot of these events usually focus on one thing, right? It's either like all business or entertainment. And we wanted to kind of bring both to the spotlight because both are important. It's really important for us to have that work-life balance. And I know that we can all kind of relate to that as entrepreneurs ourselves, is that, you do need that time to set aside for yourself, for that self-care. So we'll be talking about self-care, self-love, acceptance, body positivity. And then I'm going to be doing a special therapeutic art session that people can follow along with from home. And you don't need a lot of fancy supplies. There's no trips to Michael's or anything like that. It's just going to be a nice creative session to really get in tune with how we see ourselves and how we can kind of change the dialogue, because we are really hard on ourselves. We're our own worst critics. And so I really want to kind of switch it around and focus on the positive as always. So that's really exciting too. And I think it's great that we have something during the day and in the evening because, different people are available at different times. So, having that ticket is, like Chelsey said, an all access kind of VIP pass to everything that we're offering.
Yeah. And tickets are only $10. Is that right?
15.
Oh, 15. Sorry.
That's okay.
Still. No,
that's
cheap, honestly, really. 15,
we thought this was going to be small.
It should be 20. I'm serious.
Yeah.
No, I think that's a fantastic value. Sorry, what's that?
We thought it was going to be a small event. Like we originally planned it. Oh, it'll, just be a few people and it has snowballed very quickly. So I agree with you. Our $15 was a little surprising once you start adding in everything. But we've had such an incredible response. Our community really is unique that way. Like even as an entrepreneur,
I say it every week here.
Like I get blown away, like as a business owner, by the support that just comes from everywhere. So that's been cool. Really cool to see happen.
Yeah, I say it every week here on the show, no matter who I talk to, if it's a nonprofit or something, they're always like, what an amazing community here in Lambton County. And it just all comes together. We've seen a lot of that just through this pandemic here in Lambton County as well, right? Obviously, with the pandemic, everybody had to adapt. There's another word we hear every day. Zoom stocks went up, all that sort of stuff. Do you see getting back to I don't even know what to call that, post-pandemic? Do you see events online like this still happening?
I think some of it, but hopefully not ours.
Right.
Yeah.
We would love to be back next year in person.
Yeah.
We'd like to make this an annual event. We really think that it's important to continue to celebrate being a woman, being in business, the leadership roles, and really just creating a safe space where we can be ourselves and we can lift each other up and support one another. Yeah.
Maybe I'm going to ask this question, maybe this is a touchy question. Maybe that's why I want to ask it.
Bring it on.
Why is the need to celebrate? Why is this need there? Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Mm-hmm.
Why do we need to celebrate the women in our community? I mean, I know my answer.
Okay.
But you tell me why.
Yeah. Kat, you want me to take this one?
Yeah, absolutely. I love your answer.
Okay.
Oh,
you
I'm
know
not
what?
the first one to come up with that question. No.
You're not. We get that because I have a very women-focused business. I didn't before. My first one was very gender neutral. Right. And I have asked this question and operated in a lot of spaces that identifies that. And I'm going to say why. So the first reason is that women in work have been disproportionately affected by the pandemic across the world. So if you're working from home or you're working in a business and you have small children, it has been a very hard year for us. Yeah. That does disproportionately affect women. And that's not saying that it doesn't affect men.
Do you have small children?
I do. And they are both under the age of 7.
Wow. You're like full-time super mom with 3 capes.
Yeah, and it's been a tough year for us, and so there's that reason. The other reason is that sometimes by excluding certain people, in this case, men, from some things, you create a more inclusive community by shining light on people who don't normally get it. Right. So whether that's applying for funding or holding a seat at the table or seeking something that is considered ambitious, by creating a platform where it's okay to do that. And we encourage each other to be creative, to show up authentically, that entrepreneurship doesn't have to look a certain way. We create a more inclusive community, and the result is you have a more empowered world.
I couldn't agree with you more. I think that's an awesome answer.
I love that answer.
No, it's fantastic. Well, and here's the thing that I like about that answer, aside from the obvious facts that you shared in there. It's a genuine answer. Mm-hmm. It is not a bite your tongue, David. It's not a political. There's nothing political in there. There's no agenda in there other than the truth and the realism about what you just spoke about there. And I know both your hearts are in this. I've known Kat a long time, so I know she's definitely genuine into this as well, right? So I think it's important in all of our communities, right, to have International Women's Day events like this that, I think it's awesome. I could go on. I could do a whole hour show with you guys on this and why we need to do it. I'm that guy. I totally believe that. And I think that it's important to have the right representation of that. And you two ladies are a good representation of putting that out. I mean, and you showed up in here and you just brought the energy. It was like, I'll just sit here and listen, right? You know, because you've got the energy and you're going to project that. And the people that I saw, the list of people that you're going to be having speak, and they're going to bring all that energy too. So was it hard to select people to participate as guest speakers in this, or did they come to you, or how did that pan out?
Honestly, it happened so organically. This whole event experience has flowed almost, I don't want to say effortlessly, because we really have worked hard to create this event. But I mean, for me, I've been in business now, building my brand for 17 years. And if there's something I've learned, it's that you follow your intuition, you go with what flows. And so I really did choose the people that I wanted involved on my end intuitively. And Chelsey and I work so well together. We started off as colleagues and have become really good friends in the process. Right. And we always joke that, you know, one of us is the right brain and the other is the left brain, and together we make the whole brain. So it's been really great, because any ideas that we've brought to each other, we've really agreed on for the most part. It's very rare, knock on wood, that we heads, because we know our strengths and we play to those strengths, and we fill in each other's gaps. So it's been really great. And because Sarnia is such an amazing, talented, and vibrant community of such really dynamic women, we, you know, the ones that we wanted, they kind of rose to the top. And when we presented the idea of working together, it was just such a positive and exciting response. So we wanted people to be as excited and passionate about this project as we are. And I think we chose the right people. Absolutely.
And how long have you two known each other, and how did you meet?
This is a great question. It's been a while. I actually started working with, she was teaching me art lessons.
Yep.
She can teach anybody.
Like when this pandemic started, I needed a way to connect with my little sister and my mom. And I contacted her being like, hey, how do you feel about teaching the three of us? Because my little sister's been gone a long time. And my mom was very worried about the pandemic, and we kind of missed connecting.
Right.
So that's how we got to know each other. And then from there, it just never really went away.
Just clicked,
kept showing up.
we started off with the sketchbook club, and then we got Chelsey's daughters involved, and friends of hers who had small children as well. So we started a kids art club, and then Chelsey said, hey, I think you're onto something here. Like, this could be really good. And do you know what I do? Like, I don't know if you're aware that, like, I'm a business coach. Like, that's something that, you know, I've had a lot of success with. And would you be interested in working with me? And of course I said yes, because that's always been, you know, everything that I've done with me. Yeah. Like, I mean, it was a no-brainer. And so we started working together, and it really just blossomed from there. And like I said, we started off as colleagues and then became friends in the process. So it's been great.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go.
Yeah.
I want to go.
You can come. You're welcome to show up.
I don't know. I would be definitely outnumbered, and I just
would be outnumbered.
I would. I'd be like, okay, I'll just sit here in the corner and listen.
But we are open. Like, when it comes to sponsorships for the swag bags and for the door prizes and everything, we're opening the gates to every type of small business. It does not have to be women-led.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's a good point. I think that we should talk about. I think that's important that you say that, because I think, you know, on the outside of this label, sometimes, you know, women's lib, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. Is that an old word? But to know that this is about everybody, but on this day, it's specifically geared towards this, right? Because everybody combined makes our community work, right?
That's right.
Yeah, and we talked a lot about accessibility. So, like, part of the reason why we kept the price low was to make sure that the event was available to anyone who wanted to come out. You know, our theme is connect, inspire, and empower. And I think that's the only way you get that, is to create a space that is very invitational. So you don't have to be a business leader to show up. You don't have to be anything to show up aside from being a woman. And I think that's part of it, is that accessibility is sometimes it's showing up in the right spaces. And as one of our speakers said, like, talking about it gives me goosebumps because I feel like it's been needed for so long. And especially in a time when there's a lot of fear, we're going to talk a lot about what it looks like to be brave. And that looks different to everybody. So that's been really interesting is our speakers talking about what it means to them and seeing where those things overlap.
Well, and there's I guess a bit of a mental health aspect in all of this as well, right? Is what you're leading to. Well, and we heard Kayden talking that, he's a big guy and there's that tough side look, and we've all got some painted faces, I guess, if you will, to deal with, right? And so is this a little bit about taking those masks off as well?
100%. And it's really funny that you say that, Dave, because I was actually having a discussion with a good friend of mine, and she was worried that, going to this event, well, I'm not a successful businesswoman and I don't have, my stuff together and I don't want to have to wear a mask. And I said, listen, this is not a mask on event. We want you to come as you are. We set out this kind of invitation saying, share with us what bravery means to you. And we got these really great quotes back to use with, social media and promotion. And what I loved about so many of the ideas of what bravery is we spoke of vulnerability. And I think especially, as women, when we show vulnerability, we're afraid that shows weakness, but it doesn't show weakness. It shows strength.
Yep. And
showing up even when you're not okay is okay. That's something that I learned a long time with my own journey with mental health, is that it's okay to not be okay all the time. You don't always have to put on that mask and pretend like everything's perfect, because we're human. It's not perfect.
I hear you.
Right? And that's okay. And the more that we show up for each other authentically and show each other that you don't have to constantly be at 100%, then that allows people to feel comfortable in showing up for themselves as themselves, as a human being, and we're perfectly imperfect.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's important that people who are considered leaders in the community show that vulnerability. I think that's an important part of it. I do that as a teacher with my students sometimes, just to let them know that I'm human, right? I'm not just here to mark tests or something like that, right?
That's right.
So has the event already started? I feel like the event's already started today.
This is a good
just the way. You're a great motivational speaker as well, too. So I'm really excited for the both of you, and I know whenever Kat puts her heart into something, she's all the way, right? So, and Chelsey, I can sense that about you as well. So I know you're going to have great success. I would love to have you back after the event and just give me a little bit of an update on how it went. And maybe I got a sneaking feel you two are already up to something else. I know it. I can just tell,
always,
right?
Always.
Deviously a little bit.
That's the only way it's fun.
That's right. That's right. I thank you so much for being here. I do want to give both of you, is there anything else that I missed or you want to put out there before I let you get back to your family day?
So we are donating a portion of the proceeds to the Women's Interval Home.
Right.
And that's really important. We felt that it was just the perfect match. It's something that is really needed in our community. And you see, with the pandemic, there's been a rise in domestic abuse as well. So we thought that would be a really good partnership. So we're very excited to have them as the beneficiary of the event for this year. And definitely follow us online. So there is the Instagram page, which is her.gathering.
Okay, I missed that. We'll post that after the show as well.
Okay, great. And then there's also the event page on Facebook, which is just under Her Gathering 2021.
Perfect.
And it has all the information there. And tickets are selling fast. So I think we're almost at our limit for the swag bags. And I mean, these swag bags, these are not your average swag bags. These are not pens with names on them. Okay. Like there's some really fantastic.
I would think not. Not with you two involved.
No, we go big. So it's a really great opportunity to grab that as well. And if anyone is interested in becoming involved or supporting, they can contact either one of us, and we'd love to have you on board. And Chelsey, can you think of anything else?
No, I was just going to say we're still accepting sponsors right up until probably the end of the month. Just, I mean, to be honest, we have 20 plus a national sponsor right now. So it is much bigger than we expected, but we figure we'll just buy more bags.
Yeah.
Go big or go home.
There's more door prizes. So if you want to get involved, feel free to reach out anytime.
All right. We'll make sure we post this on my Facebook after the show. You're both such a wondrous joy to talk to today, and thanks for bringing your energy to the virtual space here. And you're both welcome back anytime. I want to hear about all the success after. Thanks again
thank you for having us.
Happy Family Day to both of you.
Happy Family Day. Thanks, Dave.
Bye, Dave.
Two awesome ladies right there. Why wouldn't you want to go to that event, right? The International Women's Day event being put on by Kat and Chelsey. As I said, a lot of information there. We'll post all the information on our Facebook page after the show today. It's really great. I really hits my heart when I see people in our community getting together to put something like this on. I'm all about the positive, right? And more positive, and you can read positive books, and you can do it just should never end. And it only works when we take the own initiative ourselves to put these kind of events on. So it's great to see this happening out there. Thanks to all my guests. Wow. Well, you just saw who we had there, the Painted Cat, and Chelsey was there. And then Kayden Babcock, I really want to say a special thank you to him as well for coming on here and sharing his story about mental health and talking about Face Off for mental health here as well. And thanks to all of you for wherever you're watching from and keeping me going. I got to say thank you to my supporters as well. Thanks to Philly Cheese Jakes, who's been looking after me for a long time. Active Ears Hearing Centers. Thank you to Christine Fiji for her support. Hughes Intelligence, almost from the beginning of the show, they've been supporters. Huron Signs, SWO, and AG Event Graphics have been supporters for 9 years now. Very grateful to them. Joe's Discount Tire. You see the snow out there. I was playing with my snowblower earlier. I might need snow tires for my snowblower. I don't know. And our good friends at Oswald's Diner. Visit them online, locally owned family restaurant. Visit them at oswalds.com for their menu. And thanks, of course, to all of you. I couldn't do this every week without you being here. You give me a reason to come out and talk the positive and share the positive that's happening in our community. We're coming up on 10 years in November, all because of you who watch. Thanks very much. That's all the time I got for you this week. Have a great week and an even better weekend. I will see you next time right here on the show. Bye for now.